Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on your way in. God, man, look, y'all, look. I was planning on going on BGS's panel. I saw it was up. I saw when people first started going, showing up. Me and my lady were sitting on the couch. We're surfing through YouTube, and you know, both of us start getting a little drowsy. And I go upstairs and I'm still listening in. I have my headphones on. I ate everything, right? I already showered. All everything's great. I'm still listening in. I start dozing off and I wake up and FD had popped up on BGS's stream just a little bit after I fell asleep. No more than maybe like 20 minutes at max. And this is my life. Right? So, geez. Um, of course I missed it. Of course I did. Jeez. You know, like I already said, the open invitation, brother FDU, are is welcome to have the conversation. I think I would ask you certain different questions. Um, I didn't catch the brother's name that went down the whole rabbit hole of Asians and conservatism and pull yourself. Not he didn't say pull yourself up by your bootstraps, but that kind of rugged individuality. I didn't catch his name. But as you can see, we do great work over here. We as you can see, the panel got on him and pretty much told him like, you don't know what you're talking about. Ain't nobody out here do it by themselves on some rugged individuality stuff, right? So that that's not, that particular view is not exclusive to Mr. Z. We understand how systems work over here, right? So there's that. Geez, I can't believe I missed this panel again. I can't believe I missed FD signifier again. Anyway, okay, cool. So let's go through some things, right? Listening into that conversation. So first, brother FD, I understand your concern, but it's too late. So what does Mr. Z mean by that? Um, it's too late because Black men's concerns regarding family, family formation, child rearing, um, employment and work, education, the benign neglect of our boys, the benign neglect of our men unless they die, and then we can use their death as a political tool or social tool for the advancement of other Black people outside of straight Black men, right? So yes, the BLMs of the world using the death of straight Black men for the advancement of other Black people outside of straight Black men because of flat Blackness. So it's too late because we watched that go on for decades. And now that Black men are speaking out about it and speaking up about it, there are people that are trying to hush Black men, fear monger Black men, scare Black men. And your own daughters aren't under one accord when it comes to how to address this. Black girls aren't even under one accord because you have the extreme divestors and where we want to leave because you ain't Bill Wakanda. Right? Not to mention we worship white men, right? So obviously, but you ain't Bill Wakanda, and I want Louis bags and Birkin bags and Benzes and Beamers, and then on the other hand, excuse me, are the feminists and the radical feminists and the intersectional feminists that tell Black men to lean even further into the concept of intersectionality, where we put Black women as the moral center of the Black community to the detriment of Black boys and men, and to continue to do that. Right? So I understand, but it's too late. It's just too late. The benign neglect of Black boys and Black men is how you got here. Feminists and radical feminists and intersectional feminists deciding that if we do right by women, we automatically are going to do right by men, because the way we think of Blackness is that Black women are on the bottom, right, in every category except for death, and even then, right, And if we do right by black women, then we do right by everyone else. Once again, a rising tide lifts all boats. Just like the black community had a major issue when Barack Obama said that, we have to be honest that that is the overall ideology in the black community concerning black women. If we could just raise black women and girls, then black boys and men will automatically be okay because these are their mothers. And clearly that hasn't worked for the past 5 and 6 decades, right? So there's that. Secondly, the rhetoric and the language might not be nice. And, right? The rhetoric and the language might not be nice. Once again, this is the talk of tone policing, right? We're not going to tone police ourselves, and we won't let others tone police us, especially in this world where black women are talking all type of insane and not just the divestors and the swirlers. Remember what Tiffany Cross was trying to get at, this respectability that we allowed elite black women in the professional managerial class of black women, the petite bourgeoisie of black women, to condescend and talk down to black men. Now that black men are responding, it's not going to be nice. And there's going to be a whole lot of B words in there. And y'all got off light with allowing Susan Rice to threaten Snoop, because that would have made her have to do it to me for real. Y'all got off light letting Susan Rice, old geriatric son looking son, let her threaten Snoop in front of everybody in the world like that. That's what black men have been dealing with. Gayle King tries to set up Lisa Leslie. Everybody in the black community see what she's trying to do. Nobody say anything. We're all disgusted, by the way. No one says anything. Snoop Dogg says something, and then white society and these a-hole elite black women then threaten Snoop in front of the entire world. If you want an example of what black men have been dealing with in the black community for the better part of 5 and 6 decades, there you go. A black woman trying to press another black woman to talk crap about a dead black man. And when another black man responds to that, the entire white society, shut the hell up, Joe Scarborough. White society, Oprah, Gayle, everybody playing victim. So if you hear black men occasionally throw around a B word or the H word or sound aggressive, that's why. And we will not be tone policed. Right? The rhetoric is, and for FD to be coming out of the feminist camp, or at least rubbing elbows with the intersectional feminist camp, who one of their tenets is against tone policing, number one, right? And number two, if the personal is political, then of course these men are going to respond this way, because they've been being called ain't-ish Negroes their entire life. They've been told how their fathers ain't-ish. Right? They've been compared to their sisters and their girl cousins and considered lacking. Especially if he's not the consummate walking wallet. Right? So it seems as if all of these feminists, intersectional feminists, even black men that kind of carry their water, the Marys, the FD signifiers, all of these people, right, consciously Thank you for one of the brothers in the comments reminding me his name. His face was stuck there and I couldn't get the name. And I don't watch how much of his brother's content. Not as much as FD, clearly. I haven't watched, and he's on Instagram. He's more on Instagram than FD is, but you know. And I kept on forgetting his name. So thank you for the brother that said his name. But yeah, the conscious leads of the world, they have a problem with ain't nobody saying anything to the women. Boy, y'all gotta stop acting like y'all scared though. Y'all realize y'all sound like our grandfathers that let your sister slip and say all type of craziness to you, but he tell you don't respond, right? Everybody doesn't watch your sister mush you, but they hey, we don't hit women over here. We don't hit girls. Boys don't hit girls. Wait, but y'all didn't see her mush me just now, right? She just tripped me. Right? She was weighing down the stairs. Once I came off that last step, she just tripped me. Ain't nobody see me slide across the floor just now? Right? And the black community will do that. They'll watch black women call you Dr. Umar and Cynthia G, right? They'll watch black women tell you all type of men ain't ish, black men ain't ish, black men are bad people, abort black sons. And they'll be like, oh, I understand, because guess what? The entire black community is misandrous. That's the point. We can understand. Okay, I understand where my black daughter's coming from, because yeah, I can understand where she's coming from. Right? So yes, the rhetoric is going to be harsh sometimes. And it's going to be aggressive sometimes. Because a lot of these men are dealing with childhood trauma, adult trauma, BS baby mamas that everybody in the black community act like don't exist. Right? So yeah, their rhetoric is going to be aggressive sometimes. And if we don't tone police the women, why are we attempting to tone police the men? Because we actually don't want them to say it at all. That's the point. We don't want black men to talk at all, unless they're kissing rear end, of course. Right? Now, the brother did give a warning, and I don't want us to miss this, and it's the dangerous double standard between black men and white men, right? So I didn't miss FD saying that, and essentially what FD is saying, if I'm not mistaken, not attempting to put words in his mouth, is, yeah, these white guys been being passport bros forever, but black men almost overnight became the face of passport bros. Meanwhile, it was a white man, I think, that just trademarked the term, so there's that also. So white people being white people. But if anything wrong happens with a black man being involved, so if something happens to a woman overseas, black men being kind of stalkerish, a black man deleting a black woman overseas, a black man being let's just say physical with a non-black woman overseas, that will be the face of black men, right? Black men will become that. And I understand what FD is saying. What I think FD misses, or at least he's not really considering, is that black men are not willing to take that risk. The dating landscape, the marriage landscape, the landscape with women, particularly black women in America, is so toxic. Even for the brothers in the top 10%, but definitely for the brothers in that bottom 20, that bottom 50%. It's so toxic that those brothers are, you understand what we're saying? Black men are willing to go overseas to Southeast Asia, to Africa, to South America, to the Caribbean to find wives. They're willing. Think about how much money you're spending just to get overseas. $600, $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 before you even really meet a person in person, before you even meet this woman in person. We're not counting the food in the hotel, and yes, I know it gets cheaper when you actually get overseas, but we're not even counting all of those things. the rentals, well, if they have Uber, depending on the country, all of that, not just to chase after some vagina, is some of that going on? Maybe. But because the dating landscape for black men in America is so toxic that they're willing to go overseas to potentially find a wife. Instead of being the bed buck for some white, Asian, Latina women over here, or being the walking wallet, over glorified dildo, right? And guard dog for a black woman over here. Think about what we're saying. So when FD gives his kind of warning, and I understand. And I somewhat agree. I understand. Brothers got to be careful when you go overseas, because we know that any little thing happens and these people are going to be, you're going to have the black women and divestors and the swirlers be like, ha ha, we told y'all, ha ha, like they're doing now, right? Like they're doing now with just pearly things. Chrissy and Yanni making the victory laps way too early. Y'all way too early for the victory lap, right? But yeah, and I agree, black men got to move carefully overseas. But with that, they're going overseas because the dating and mating landscape in America is that toxic. Yes, FD, it's that toxic. Yes. Let's stop acting like all these men are leaving because they're just chasing after easy vagina overseas. That's the only reason they're leaving. Especially the well-to-do brothers, the ones that are doing okay in life. No, they could pay for that vagina over here if they wanted. It's not even worth it. And if women want to be so free in the West and in America in particular, they don't want to be held down by men. There's nothing wrong with that. Fine. When y'all finally want to do that, and the men of means, or the men of means but not really rich like that, the okay, a little bit above stable guys have already gone, then y'all can go ahead and fight for the top 20, top 10%, top 5%, top 1%. Right? So I understand the warning, right? I understand it. But once again, what do we expect from young men, from older men? Those that are stable, that are doing okay. Wife what? Wife one of these? Right? Another thing, and I caught Compassionate and Callous, I caught his video right as I was making my notes, and I already saw. So yes, I caught it too, Compassionate. Yeah, wait a minute, FD, you didn't know who Richard Reeves was? Kim Foster just referenced Richard Reeves a couple months ago because I think she's reading the book. She tried to throw it in black men's faces, but I think she's missing the part of like the black women do no harm part. The much of this is because of the women part. You missed that part, Miss Foster. Right? Kim Foster's reading the book. She ain't tell you about it. Y'all both under that kind of same ideological tint. Raj Chetty, who's not even white or black, right? Scott Galloway. I mean, these people have been making that. Raj Chetty been making his rounds for a while, actually. But over the past year, Richard Reeves, Scott Galloway, speaking about the plight of men, how pretty much if we don't look out for men, it's going to destroy society. If we don't do right by the boys and the men, it's going to destroy society, destroy America. No, right? So yeah, when I caught that too, I'm like, wait a minute, how did? And it was in my notes, and then I clicked on Compassionate and Callous. By the way, y'all go check out his channel, doing really really good work over there. Compassionate and Callous. And yeah, I was like, wait a minute, how did you? Because he was like, this Reeves person, I keep on hearing you say, who's Richard Reeves? Who's, oh, no, he didn't say Richard. Who's Reeves? Who's Chetty? And I was like, wait a minute, right? Jeez. Wow. Hey, bro. Hey, brother. Look, we all have holes in our arguments and we miss certain things. Mr. Z is not above it, right? But it's crucial that you read his book and definitely watch all his interviews, everything from, and Scott Galloway. You got to watch Scott Galloway and you got to watch Richard Reeves. And then, very importantly, when you watch both of them on Bill Maher's show, they weren't together, by the way. Scott Galloway did an episode on Bill Maher. Richard Reeves did an episode on Bill Maher. Listen to the audience. Very important. When Scott Galloway gives his talk, or his, not diatribe, right? But when he speaks, listen to the audience and listen to the parts where they celebrate. Same thing with Richard Reeves. Listen to the audience and listen to the part when they celebrate, and listen to the voices that think it's funny on certain parts. Very important, right? Very important. And thank you for the super chat, Big Kev. And Big Kev says, it doesn't matter. We get slandered no matter what. This is true. This is true, right? And this is where you get the conservative brothers from, right? That are like, yeah, screw the scaremongering. We're not even doing that. But I was really about to lose my religion just now. The word damn near came out. But F that. We're out. You know what? If I die overseas, so be it. That's what these brothers are on, right? That's what they're on, you know. But yeah, compassion. I saw that. That's a very big hole in the argument right there. Not knowing of Richard, and not only Richard Reeves also wrote the book Dream Hoarders, essentially speaking about the top 20%, that mainly professional managerial class, but the top 20% help, essentially helping and being the vanguard for the top 1% and hoarding all the wealth. So there's a lot of reasons to know who Richard Reeves is. It's not just because of the book of Boys and Men, but it's also because of his book Dream Hoarders, which is another group of interviews you might want to watch. It's his interviews and his lectures speaking about the book Dream Hoarders, right? And I could tie in Passport Bros to what Dre said, and shout out to Judge Dre, right? Y'all gotta let FD talk, by the way. Y'all gotta, when he's talking, let him go, right? Because we know what we're about. But it's important that some of the brothers hear his argument. And if he takes some of the brothers, fine, so be it, right? But people need to hear what that particular side is talking about. We have plenty of time to express our views, right? But don't miss something that Judge Dredd said, which is essentially these boys and these men are acting the way they do because what's the point? What do they have to come home to? Very important that we don't miss that. The external motivation. And I know all we do in on these online spaces is blow smoke up people's rear end and talk about the internal motivation, and people need to have internal motivation and drive and work ethic, internal work ethic. Yeah, yada yada yada, et cetera, et cetera. But the external motivation is what Dre was speaking about. What's the point if you don't have anything to come home to? No wife, no kids, right? Let's not miss that. And he was 100% right. You told working class men, yeah, about that wife thing and those children. Ugh. Wait, are you okay with having children out of wedlock? Because we kind of messed up. We socialized these women not to be wives, right? Or what about, are you okay with marrying her, but she don't want to have children and she still divorces you in 5 to 10 years, right? Okay, are you okay with her marrying you and having children and then still divorcing you in 5 to 10 years? Oh, and taking the kids. And if you earn enough, half your stuff too. We didn't socialize these women to be wives. Okay, cool, fine. But then we still want our men to do what they used to do without air quotes, the misogyny and the patriarchy, concepts of patriarchy. We still want them to build and maintain the infrastructure, go to college so that these women can marry them and then divorce them in 5 to 10 years. Don't forget that part. Earn enough to be fathers, even though they're not going to be fathers with these women in the homes in 5 to 10 years, but she's going to divorce you and take the children. Don't forget that part. We still want men to play these roles with no promises, guarantees, or even if you go down this road, we can't promise you a guarantee, but most likely. Huh. Once again, what's the incentive here? No external motivations, no incentives. Just do. Just be. Yeah, and you wonder what is passport bros. Right? So shout out to Judge Dre. That was a very good point he made. What are they coming home to? A wife where the clock is ticking down to divorce? Right? Or a non-wife? A girlfriend that's gonna break up with you in any time now? Yeah, no. Definitely not. Another point I wanted to make is it's not about great women. So FD speaks about all the great women that were around him and that helped to raise him. And yeah, that sounds good and that sounds nice. We're not talking about that. Everybody want to start copping. Whenever we start critiquing women, everyone wants to start copping please and start speaking about Mother Teresa. Everyone wants to start speaking about how great their grandma was and how great their mother was, or their older sister, or their girl cousin, or their aunt. Yeah, your aunt might have been great to you. Did you ever find out how she was at work? Was she an a-hole? Did she make another black man's life miserable? Okay, cool. She was good to her nephew. You ever ask her ex-husband how she was? Or her ex-boyfriends? Right? We do all this talk about how great our mothers were. And it's not just experiences. And the experiences matter. We're not going to minimize the experiences, right? But these men are coming out here not just with the women that helped to raise them, but they're interacting with women at work, girls and women in school, right? Your everyday woman on the street. And they're not coming across all these great women that you're speaking about, FD. They're coming across Gail King trying to press Lisa Leslie to say something bad about a dead Kobe Bryant. That's what they're coming across. Right? They're coming across an Oprah who's turning on the white woman waterworks Because my friend feels so threatened about Snoop Dogg, a public figure that wouldn't touch Gayle King with a 10-foot pole. We're so scared. That's what they're coming across. They're coming across, deliver us from evil. That's what they're coming across. All these great women you're talking about. And yes, we talk about how black women have looked out for us. I've said it. I've spoken about how much of the reason why I'm in the position I'm in is because a black woman took a chance on me. But for us to not also talk about all the black women that have defecated on us knowingly and getting off on it, particularly in the face of white people, oh yeah, no more policing, no more tone policing, no more, oh, don't tell that story, or we can't tell that story, right? Particularly when we have a contingent of black women that they get off on throwing black men under the bus in front of non-black people. Or they want to go run and call white daddy when they playing in the mud with everybody else. They get mud slinged in their face after they threw it first. Then they want to call the cops or call authorities. Shout out to Kim Foster. Yeah, no more of that. Yeah, no more of that. Right? All this great women talk. Now, the canary in the coal mine. I said this before. What's her name out of Canada? Girls' Rights, what? Right? Karen Strawn? Karen, yeah, something like that. I think I forgot her name. Her last name, better yet. She said it years ago, over a decade ago. Essentially, she slipped up and she actually deleted that video. And she pretty much like, hey, white society need to not become the black community. This is a white woman, a white Canadian woman that saw what was going on with black people, particularly in America, and said, yeah, how about we not become that? And that was over a decade ago. So let's fast forward to 2022 and 2023. Yes, white society, white men, and even just pearly things to a certain extent, is using the black community, black Western community, I guess we'll say it, by saying, using them as a cautionary tale to white society. This is what we want. Your women talking about your men like this, not getting married, having children out of wedlock. Right? All these weird family formations. Your men throwing their hands up because what's the point? Right? So Girls' White What was given a cautionary tale decades ago. Well, not decades, but over a decade ago. And now Just Pearly Things is kind of doing the same thing. Right? Rollo Tomasi has tiptoed around it a couple of times. Right? Racist ass Stephen Molyneux damn near went right through it. Yeah, I ain't trying to be like these Negroes. You see their families? I ain't trying to be like them. Their families or lack thereof. So yes, the reason why you see, one of the reasons why you see non-black people snooping in here is they're using the black community as a cautionary tale. Is it for the spectacle? Is it the minstrel? Yeah, let's be honest. I'm not even gonna BS. Do they see it? Is there this? And FD originally came in to, pretty much say that. Are we, and he included himself, are we becoming the minstrel for the entire globe to kind of watch and poke at and prod and turn upside down and investigate, and there's something to be said about that. The black gender conflict being a minstrel for everyone else, right? But also a cautionary tale. Look at their women. Look how they act. Look how they act. Look at their women run amok. Ooh, look how they act. Look at their men. Right? Where's that comment that I highlighted from BGS earlier? And BGS said he tried to get Dr. T on. I'm like, oh, I'm so mad I missed it. And shout out to Kareen. Kareen sent me the email too. Kareen, I was KO'd. I was sleep. Snoring, probably drool coming out the side of my mouth. I don't drool, but still. Right? But yeah, so, these other people are using the black community, particularly in America, as a cautionary tale. Right? Women having children from 3-4 different dudes, never been married. Right? Mean and get off on it. Sexist towards men and boys and get off on it. Maybe educated, maybe not. Right? All these kind of splintered off, air quotes, families. Right? And y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. All of what's going on in the black community now, because of the internet, everyone can see it. They can read the comments. That's why you got the white guys checking divestors occasionally. They see the videos. Right? That's why, like I said the other day, you had Destiny speaking of what's his name and bringing up Annalicia, right? And speaking about divestors, all of these internal conflicts are now being viewed by the entire world. Black Brits talking about Black American issues like they're here, right? Black Canadians speaking about Black American issues like they're here. White guys in Australia making montages of different women acting badly, including Black women in America. White guy from Australia never put a foot in America, let alone in a Black community, but still is showing this. How else do you get the New Zealand shooter referencing Candace Owens? Because the internet has allowed everyone to see everyone. Right? So they use what's going on in the Black community in America in particular as a cautionary tale. And you gotta think about being a 20-something-year-old Middle Eastern dude surfing the interwebs, and you see what's going on between Black men and Black women in America. And then you look at your girlfriend like, well, not girlfriend, sorry, wife, like, I wish you would. Right? You imagine? That's why I gotta go send with 20 some odd, or if not 200, I think it's now $200 million to Pakistan for air quotes gender studies. Right? Because the Middle Easterners and the South Asians are like, oh hell, the Arabs and the South Asians are like, oh no, oh no. So y'all could turn this into Black America, right? Y'all want us to adopt this Western form of feminism, radical feminism, intersectional feminism, LGBTQism. We really don't want to go there. It's LGBTQIA, and then now they added extra stuff to it. This thing is going to become the whole entire alphabet. Literally, is going to become the whole entire alphabet eventually. I mean, we joke, but yeah, it's just going to consume the entire alphabet. All 26 letters. We might as well just call it all 26 letters now. And you want this to go global? All right. You see what's going on in Africa? What country is that said, yeah, we're banning that? Nope, nope, no, no, nope, nope. Is it the sexual act in particular? Maybe, maybe not. Is it the fallout from a culture developing from this? Probably. Right? And what he had his soul says, people complain, vent about many things in this society. Strange that most don't want relationships. The most important thing in life to be critiqued. Yes, right? Yeah, people complain about many things. And the part of most people don't want relationships. Maybe when they're younger and they just want to have fun. Right? But there's something to be said about going it alone after the age of 35, 40, 40. Yeah, there's right? There's something to be said about that trek by yourself. And so all these people, with the hot girl summering and all of that, yeah, that sound nice, right? Because it sounds empowering. And we've done a really good job in our society commodifying empowering language, language that feels empowering, right? It's like $1 billion industry to just sell people on feel good striverism and aspirationalism and do for selferism and all this other stuff, right? Rugged individuality. And you're here now. Right. And thank you, Karina. It was Uganda. Uganda is the country in Africa that said, yeah, nope, we ain't doing it. Nope, nope, you could keep that. Yeah, you could keep your aid. If your aid, air quotes, your aid, right? Your financial aid comes with accepting this foolishness. Yeah, you could keep it. Yeah, no, we're good. Right. So yeah, these other places use Black America as a cautionary tale. To answer something FD said. You know, and this needs to be said also. And let me actually get to this first. Thank you for the super sticker, right? The poor man's passport guide. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Right. And what need this at the end of the day, all we're saying is Western society, Western feminists, quite frankly, all across the world, because that's why they did that little expose in South Korea about what the hell we're gonna do with all these women who are florists, right? When they're retirement age and they didn't put enough in the system to even float themselves. What are we supposed to do with all these single women who've been single almost their entire adulthood, if not their entire adulthood, never got married and never had kids? What is the system supposed to do with them? They didn't even create the next generation of taxpayers to float them. The level of short-sightedness. Like when Mr. Z say these people don't know how to be selfish, right? I mean for real though. And my point in saying all of this is we haven't socialized the women to be wives, and that's okay, fine. They want to be, single and be independent and be free. All right, nothing wrong with that. Except you also take men's drive and external motivation and the incentive off the table. Now what? Right? Now what? You take men's incentive and external motivation off the table. As Judge Dre said, to come home to what? To come home to what? Okay, cool. Like we live in America, materialistic capitalist society. Cool. I got a nice big luxury car or sports car in the driveway. I have this nice house. But if you're that rich, you can buy your wife, right? What about everybody else? What about the non-rich guys? At least the rich. I said buy. Sorry. Wrong word. You can rich your wife for a little while. And she's more or less likely to divorce you. Yeah, but what of everyone else? Like we said, marriage is becoming an elite institution. Fine. What other incentives? And this is going to be the biggest struggle for FD, for Richard Reeves, for Scott Galloway, for Raj Chetty, name them. How do you motivate your men? The women are a-holes. Many of them are doing their whole same gender loving, same sex loving thing. Shout out to the radical feminists. You got what you wanted. Right? They're being the pass around for all the dudes with some money and great looking dudes. Fine, cool. But all of those everyday 9 to 5, 30, 40, 50, $60,000 a year men, the ones that hold up society, the ones that the women look down on, what do we have to help them continue to hold up society? What tools? What incentive? Huh. The question then becomes to FD, are you just here to tell us to simmer down a little bit? We're too loud. We're too aggressive. We're too abrasive. If you're just here to tone police us, well, good luck with that. Right? Good luck with that if you're just here to tone police us. And like I said, I understand the warning from FDA, right? The white folks are snooping in. They're going to take y'all talking points and run out the back door. But what FD misses is we allowed your ideological side to run the yard for 5 decades. Black boys and black men have nothing to show for it. Nothing. So if white people snoop in, take a couple of talking points, elevate it all the way up, and black boys and men could get some of the crumbs off the table of white folks, trying to fix their relationships, that's better than what y'all have done over the past 50 years. That's what you're missing, brother FD. That's what you're missing. Your ideological side has run the yard for 50 years. At least 50 years. Because I'm starting to clock at 1970, not at 1965, not at 1960. I'm being generous. Right? You may want to start the clock at 1980. I'm not going to start the clock then. 1970. And black boys and black men have what to show for it. Right? So now that white people, this always happens. Now that white people are having issues motivating their sons and their nephews and their grandsons, now that their grandsons are also not attending college or dropping out, not getting married, not having children, right? Now that they have to play damage control, if that means that black boys and black men get a couple of crumbs off the table, that's better than what y'all have done over the past 4 and 5 and 6 decades. Because all this kind of concept of intersectionality, even before it became a term, all it's done is benign neglect black boys and men. That's all it's done. Right? And thank you for the super chat. And Leon said, I tried to explain to FD that the talking points could and most likely become the average white man's reality. That's all. Right? White men, what white society has the fastest growing birth out of wedlock rate right now. Their men have the highest self-deletion rate, but that's always been a thing. Right? But still, the highest self-deletion rate, fastest growing birth out of wedlock rate. Their marriage numbers are going through the floor also, right through the floor, right through the basement. Right? Their birth rate is going through the floor in the basement. So if they're using the black community as a cautionary tale and attempting to find what they could put into place to get young people marrying again, buying homes again, you know, Mr. Z got to slip in his capitalist stuff. Getting married again, buying homes again, having children in wedlock. If black men benefit from that, fine. Because your side really has nothing to show. Nothing. Because y'all let sexist a-hole, petite bourgeoisie black women and elite black women run the yard for 50 years with all their gripes and their spite towards black men. And they did what when they got into academia? When they got into corporate America? When they got into the newsroom? When they got into the writing studios? What did they do but talk crap about black men and depict black men just as bad as white society does? Yikes. Bigger long, anyone? Y'all allowed black women and black LGBTQ that got an issue with straight black men to essentially depict black men the same way the white racists do. And talk about black men the same way, right? A certain first lady saying, yeah, what did she say? We raise our daughters and we love our sons. Huh. While she tell you how much she couldn't stand her husband at one point. The only first lady coming out their mouth like that. You got first ladies that got cheated on in public. Her husband was getting dome in public, y'all. and she still don't talk about her husband the way this other first lady does. Huh. You know, and this is how you get your sons wanting to be passport bros. This is how you get your sons dating out of the race. This is how you get your sons becoming recluse, right? This is how you get your sons throwing their fist up, their hands up, right? Staying in their parents' basement well into their damn late 30s and early 40s. Because why not? Right? So yeah, I missed that conversation. I'm beating myself up about it too, because I had every intention I had every intention to jump onto to BGS's channel last night, and I didn't, and I missed FD again. Of course I did. You know, because the question is simple now: is what are the motivating factors? What incentive do we have, and what are we actually trying to do? Actually, that's a better question too. What are we trying to accomplish here? Like I said, is the goal just to tell black men to simmer down? Because that's not going to happen. Use less abrasive and aggressive language. That's not going to happen. Be more politically correct. That's not going to happen. Right? And Trell said, leave him be, Rufus. Junior is only 41. Right? Oh, something else. How did I forget to mention this? And what stream did he say? Did he say this on Bernard Riley's channel? I think he said this or implied this on Bernard Riley's channel. He said it on his, was it on his own channel recently? Ooh. Anyway, let me just address the comment. And essentially it was that comment about, oh yeah, it might have been Bernard Riley's channel where he said, you know, okay, now now that women aren't in need of men, now they're telling you to wipe your own ass, wash yourself and put on some good clothes. And like that's what men are throwing up. First of all, let me say this. Let me say this. If you're making a distinction between black men and white men, then make that distinction and keep it there. You know that's not the issue that black women have with black men, is that they not wiping they rear and they not taking showers. You know that's not the issue. Let's not do that. They're clearly telling, once again, rest in peace, Kevin. They're telling you what their issue is. You're supposed to be a big dumb jock with a 10-inch rod, we'll say. That's a really good walking wallet. Right? 6 figures, 6-pack, 6 inches plus. Let's stop. No, the problem is y'all not taking showers every day. Yeah, no, that's not it. The problem is so many men are socially awkward. Have you heard your daughter speak? Have you heard your daughters socially awkward? Right? Let's stop doing this whole, the problem is the boys smell like funk and they not taking showers. The men smell like funk and they're not taking showers. Let's stop. Right? So that ain't no point in belaboring the point too much longer. I'm done with that. Right? I'm kind of beating myself up for missing FD getting on the live again. But as I said, keep playing with it, FD. It's gonna change you. It's gonna change you. You keep coming around playing. And Cheryl said, "You're a dildo with a wallet, Negro." Right? Y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat, and that is exactly. And if we, I mean, I, I, I feel as though we need to say this overtly right now because everybody kept on getting the wrong message. Rest in peace, Kevin. All of us content creators that have spoken to women over the past decade or so, with the highlight and the culmination of Kevin Samuels, but even when you watch a Fresh and Fit, or when you watch, if you even watch Just Pearly Things or King Riches, or name them, the guy, the crew, anywhere you want to go, right? Western women, and particularly Western Black women, if you want to be even more particular, Black women in America, have very clearly told you what the problem is. We want you to be pliable. We want you to be a really good dildo in a really expensive wallet with a whole lot of money in it. And this is where I say Mr. Richard Reeves is wrong when he speaks about preferences and revealed preferences. So what we keep on exclaiming that we won't settle for versus what we actually settle for, yeah, that sounds nice, but more and more your women are showing they're not their mothers. Their mothers and their grandmothers might have grinned and bear it. These women are saying, yeah, with these opportunities, we won't. And that's perfectly okay, but have fun dealing with the social ramifications of that. Mr. Z is not about making any laws to force women to get married and have children. I'm not about none of that. I just want society to deal with the ramifications. Either blow all that money. I don't know how it's impossible. You ain't going to have the tax base, but blow all that money trying to prop up these women as they get older, or socialize them to be wives and mothers. Right? And Lithium says they rather eat the box or watch reality TV shows. And that's for those of them that would rather eat the box. Most women, even most black women are not on that. That conditional lesbianism, most black women are not even on that. More black women than other non-black women, yes. But even most black women are not even on that. They're not trying to do that. Nah. Right? That's one place the radical feminists have failed. They got a nice chunk, a nice minority, but most black women ain't trying to do that. Plus, they want a lifestyle. And both of them don't earn enough to provide that lifestyle. Right? They just don't earn enough. They don't earn enough, and most of them don't have the temperament to deal with all the BS that comes with being with a woman. We all done heard it. I don't have girlfriends. I got one homegirl and that's it. They don't want to be around each other like that. That's why they be thumping in all those houses. High ass domestic, well, DV rate. Right? And that's something that FD signifiers ideological side is going to have to deal with. The state has reached its capacity. It's reached its market cap in funding women. Right? It's reached its market cap. And talking about market caps, our society has reached the market cap of doing for women and benign neglecting men, particularly black men. Right? It's reached its market cap. That's why you see Richard Reeves snooping in. Scott Galloway speaking about this. Isn't Scott Galloway, I think his His area expertise is business or something along the lines, right? That mean all of this misogyny talk y'all doing over there, y'all messing up the money. King Camo said they don't want to be munches. They don't want to be munches. Man, I was gonna make a naughty joke, but too easy. I'm gonna let that one go. Right? And Detroit says there are black women teachers treating black boys like trash. Claim that she a swirler and Brad worshiper. I'm I'm willing to bet I would hear black boys their stories about their teacher is treating them poorly. Of course, of course, of course. Nobody want to hear. Rappers done told you that. You think it was only white women teachers telling these black boys that they're not gonna amount to anything? You think there wasn't some black women that said that also? Of course, Detroit, you're definitely right. You know, this also comes at this also exists because of the idea that you don't have to socialize your young people. It's funny because these people like pick and choose when they believe in nature versus nurture, or nurture trumping nature, or nature trumping nurture. Right? Let me say that again. Trumping nurture, and nurture trumping nature. There we go. There we go. Got it out. Right? Men just are. You go from 17 to 18 and you're a man. Right? And so we don't have to socialize you. We don't have to do for you. You just gonna get it how you live because that's in your nature. Meanwhile, we done broke and remade society for the women. Right? We've broke and remade society for the women, but the men just got to get it how they live. And Trell said, "Do it, do the joke." No, I just was gonna say, like, y'all over here, running from munching each other because, like, shout out to the brother of the Roger Report. Y'all remember what he was saying on his channel? There's women trying to creep over to the LGBTQ side of the game for the safety, for the security, but they don't want to engage in the adult activity of it all. Meanwhile, you could be over here, engaging in this adult activity, which you probably like more, and getting your bills paid, but you want to be an a-hole. So deal with what you got to deal with over there. Right? Huh. So you got to make a choice. You either become a munch. I mean, there's brother. I mean, if we're engaging in adult activity, that's going to happen to you by a man anyway. But you would rather be over there where they got no rules. And then the one thing you're going to have to do is be a munch. Huh? Decisions. King Camel, kill me with this munch for lunch thing. It's hysterical. Absolutely hysterical. You see what I'm saying? And Trell says a black female comedian made a joke about being half gay. She was cool until it was her turn to eat the box. Look, man, they want no rules. Brother FD, your ideological side have created a group of people that want no rules. None. None. Even when they go on the other side, they have issues. Okay, Shay Sade covered a little while ago. It was pretty much right after Kevin passed. She covered the black women that were speaking about voodoo and okomi and all these other kind of African spiritualities and witchcraft and all of this stuff. But there was a segment, there was one video that she didn't cover, and it was of this. It looked like it was a Latina and this kind of very fair skinned, light, bright black woman. And they were speaking about the old traditions of this kind of spirituality and how they were trying to change it because we shouldn't have to get certified, and we shouldn't. Wait a minute, let me get this right. Y'all are running from Christianity and Islam and Judaism. Cool, fine. I'm not about, you don't want to be part of the Abrahamic religions. Fine. All right, cool. Especially as a black person, I don't fault you for not wanting to be part of the Abrahamic religions, right? Or as a pejorative, the desert dogmas, right? I've heard atheists say this before, the desert dogmas. Fine, you don't want to be part of that. Cool. But then when you go to other established, maybe not as well known forms of spiritual teachings or practices, or you don't even want to follow their rules neither. And that's my point. Y'all have created people that detest any type of sanctions or rules, school of thought. They just want to go wherever they want to go, do whatever they want to do, break glass, and tell you to clean it up. Right? This is ridiculous. Whether they're educated or not. Once again, rest in peace to Kevin. That's what he showed us. Whether they're light skinned, dark skinned, educated, not educated, East Coast, West Coast, South, Midwest, Northern Midwest, Pacific West, it doesn't matter. Blue collar, white collar. Maybe y'all need, you know what? Maybe we need to go all the way back to 5th and 6th grade so that we could teach these women civic responsibility. All this talk about them holding it down. Y'all not holding down nothing. Y'all don't even understand how systems work. Like I keep saying, y'all don't even know how to be selfish right. Right? And Big Kev says, and thank you for the super chat. Big Kev says, in the gym, just leg press 860 pounds for 30 reps. Big Kev, you know I got a joke, right? You know I got a joke. Look, y'all got Big Kev working out and doing leg presses so he could go out there and find him a sugar mama. I kid. Right? Let me actually leave that up a little bit longer. You know, I like to leave the super chats up a little bit longer. Systems, people, systems. Societal mechanisms. I've done like 2-3 videos on this already. The societal mechanisms, the systems, these are the reason why your citizens participate. You got to give your citizens a reason. Not just some BS American dream for the people at the very top. You first start really accessing the American dream at the top 20%. And then if you're lucky, you get in the top 1% and 0.1%, and you're almost untouchable. You're Teflon Don. Yeah, but what about the bottom 80? Well, at least you got running water. At least you don't have rolling blackouts. At least you don't live in a developing country. That No, America's supposed to be a highly advanced society. What are the incentives for the bottom 80% man? In our case, particularly black man. But what incentives? And that's what I'm saying. Maybe we need to go back. Maybe we need to put these women and girls back in the 5th and 6th grade so they could take civics. So they could stop telling us how they holding it down, how they're the backbone of the community. So they could see what it really looks like to contribute and to do for your society. Put them in some history classes. Put them in sociology. Because clearly, right? And Afro National says they're profiting female patriarchy, patriarchy supremacy with no accountability or sacrifice, right? And I think you're trying to say they are profiting from female patriarchy / supremacy with no accountability or sacrifice. Of course, that's the goal, right? They want patriarchy on an on and off switch. They want it with the on and off switch. And FD knows that. Now that he actually even said on my channel, he knows that. He knows that's the vast majority of women. The Khadijahs of the the Khadijahs of the world are rare, and there's that. It's not a consequence that Khadijah is queer. Let's say that. It's not a consequence. Sorry, said that wrong again. It's not a coincidence. Why is it consequence? It's not a coincidence that Khadijah is queer. Because any straight woman, lesbian, they still want patriarchy. They want it. They just don't like the parts they think are, air quotes, toxic. But they still want that, and everyone knows it. I can't wait until Shay Sade interview Dr. Jennifer Lundquist. Or I think she might be interviewing Dr. Chantel Buggs also, but I know she should be interviewing Dr. Jennifer Lundquist. Right? Dr. Chantel Buggs told y'all straight up, the women lack self-awareness. Let me say that again, FD. The women like, this is a PhD mixed woman. She didn't say the men. And you could tell she was grinding her teeth saying it, by the way. The women lack self-awareness. In their dating habits, in their dating preferences. And who they put in what category. And why. Then, this is the very important part. Men of color aren't the ones chasing after white women to validate their masculinity. Let me say that again. Men of color, that includes black men, aren't chasing after white women to validate their masculinity. But you know who's chasing after white? The women of color. That includes black women. Why does that matter in this overall conversation? Because what we've done is allowed a whole lot of not self-aware, a-hole, educated, elite black women to tell black men what black men find attractive. Y'all talk black and sleep white. Yeah, that's it. We're the ones talking black and sleeping white, right? Or is the problem that you wish you could talk black and sleep white? No, wrong. You wish you could talk white and sleep white. Now you're just forced to sleep black and talk white. And that's what this really is. Racist, a-hole, educated, petite bourgeoisie, or elite black women talking white and sleeping black, or talking white and sleeping white. And now we're asking black men to tone police themselves because these people feel a certain weird way about black men finally responding. And that it's not just finally responding, it's that the internet has democratized the town square, and now they don't just have the white man's microphone, pun intended, to use to overtalk black men. Right? So yes, I'm highly disappointed in myself for falling asleep last night. How dare me? But yeah, I miss that conversation. And FD Signifier and his ilk, and shout out to the sister that kind of sent him on this mission. Um, y'all have some things to ask yourselves. What incentives do you have for black men? You can't scare them anymore. You can't. Look at our prison rate. Look at us fighting each other and deleting each other in the streets. Our boys, our young men, your future, your daughter's future husbands. Your daughter's future husbands that are born in upper middle class situations, 70% of them come back down to working class. So you can't even protect the petite bourgeoisie black men up there. What incentives do you have for the men and the boys, particularly in the black community? Stop trying to tone police us. So the poor black boys are in the streets deleting each other over crumbs. The middle class black boys and men largely get ignored. The only time they get any type of look on them is to insult them and belittle them. And then the petite bourgeoisie black men, we so do a horrible job at protecting black boys and black men that about 70% of them come down to working class. So they're born okay. Their parents put them in the position to be okay, but we so don't care about them that they come back down to working class by 70%. Your track record sucks. You ain't protecting the poor black boys. You're not even protecting the black boys that are your literal sons by 70%. Wow. So to the brother FD, y'all got a lot of work to do. Like I said, y'all reached the market cap of doing for the women and not doing for the men. Y'all reached the market cap of that. You just got to be honest about that. You can't move from this. You cannot move an inch from where you are until you're honest about, first, we did way too much for the women but not neglected the boys and the men. We did way too much for the girls. All type of programs, all type of set-asides, well wishes, pats on the back, positive words. And all the only thing we got for the men is some get it how you live, hyper individuality talk, rugged individuality talk. then you wonder why your sons are so easy to fall prey to all these, multi-leveling, MLM scammer stuff. And Black Uru says, and shout out to Black Uru says, in most co-munching relationships, we're gonna, you know what? Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. By decree of Mr. Z, that rhymes. We're gonna start calling these relationships co-munching. This is hysterical. Oh, it's funny because it's true. And Black Uru says, in most co-munching relationships, you have two selfish, petty, lazy people who are hell-bent on getting their way and want someone else to pay their bills. No way that holds up over the long term. Bruh, that's why they be thumping in those houses. In their homes, they're fighting each other. It's WWF, WWE in those homes. And oftentimes, it's because why? One of them cheated on the other one, not with another woman, but with a man. Because let's be very clear. I want to say this, and I don't care who it offends. Most of you are just conditional lesbians. You're either too overweight, maybe not enough brothers find you attractive, or you're an a-hole and the only person that could tolerate you is another woman who's also compromised in the dating scene. Let me say that again. Another woman who's also severely, because we're in the black community and black men are the trash man of the dating scene. So it's two women that are extremely, extremely compromised in the dating scene that are getting with each other, really can't stand each other. And once one of them has any glimmer with a man, she cheats on that woman. I don't even know if we should even be calling it cheating with the man. And you know how we know some of this is going on? Because even Richard Reeves kind of slipped up and said it, right? Right. We're gonna have we're gonna have women, and I'm putting words in his mouth a little bit, right? We're going to have women who engage in relationships with other women because they can't find men on their level. That's how he worded it. That's not what I'm saying, though. Right? It's conditional lesbianism. Let's call a thing a thing. Both of y'all are insufferable, or both of y'all are a-holes, and y'all with each other as long as there's not a penis in the room. It's conditional lesbianism. And most women, I would argue, that are in that lifestyle, that's what it is. And that's okay. Mr. Z is not making any type of moral judgment. That y'all know, it's like I stay clear and steer clear of moral judgment usually. But if it's conditional lesbianism, then we have to ask ourselves why. Right? It's conditional lesbianism, and we know it. Those co-munching relationships, they find each other in these homes. Right? So this is not about a moral judgment for me. It's really not. Right? But yeah, so it's not about a moral judgment for me, but it really is. Why are these people engaging in these type of relationships or these type of situationships? And then why do they find themselves? Why do we find that they so often? First of all, they have a high DV rate. Then we find out they so often, whether it's the femme or the masculine one, end up cheating on each other with a dude, right? They end up cheating on each other with a dude. You have socialized so many of your women to become insufferable, to be insufferable, excuse me, to be insufferable, to be mean to even other women. All that do no harm, right? There's a special place in hell for women that harm other women. All that talk, y'all don't really mean it. And Trump Bentley says, "Cold munching is such an awesome term." Look, I'm just following Black Uru's steps because when I read that, I was like, that's I'm still in that. That's the new phraseology for this. Cold munching, right? And Leon says, "Conditional lesbians participating in co-munching. What is the result? A 50-50 co-munching?" Look, it's just two people. You know what it reminds me of? And I almost lost a thought. All my Mad TV heads from back in the day, lower expectations. That's what it is. It's two people engaging in lower expectations situationships. Anybody that remember the lower expectations segment of Mad TV back in the 90s? And believe it or not, I'm not against regulating these people. I'm not even against regulating them. Do what you do, but let's be clear about why you're doing what you do. I'm not telling you not to be in your cold munching situation, but call a thing a thing. The second the D walks in the room, one of y'all cheating. I thought the song too, I just don't want to sing it. And Spain Man said lower expectations with the music symbol behind it. I thought the song is playing in my head. I'm just not gonna sing it. Right? Black Uru woke up with jokes today. Oh, okay. And Black Uru says a lot of broken dreams and sore tongues. It's funny because it's true, right? And there's a reason why you noticed that there wasn't a radical like masculine or man movement that's saying no, it just need to be men over here, just men. We need to separate the world between East and West hemisphere and men over here and women over there. Radical feminists really thought that. Radical feminists really look at sex as a political tool. And they look at heterosexual women that have sex with men as the enemy, as a sellout. I'm not joking. And even these so-called not lesbians feel like they got to excuse some stuff every once in a while, like the Kim Fosters. Us straights, we have so many issues over here. For those of us that like to have intercourse with men, almost like they got to excuse themselves in a room full of lesbians. I'm sorry, I'm one of those women that like penis. I'm sorry. You imagine walk. I don't care where. Look, man. I don't care where you are as a straight man. No man is apologizing for liking. You could be in a room full of gay dudes and you're not gay. Hopefully, you're not gay. And you're not apologizing for liking women. Who does that? But when you follow the rules and the tenets, and this is where TERFs come in, right? When you follow the tenets of intersectionality, then guess what? Yes, you're a black woman, but you're not LGBTQ. And so you got to defer to the LGBTQ. So you do have to be conciliatory on your rhetoric. Right? You do have to be conciliatory on your rhetoric or in your rhetoric. Right? So Khadijah gets to poke fun as a queer woman to the straight women, to the straight black women in particular. You know, oh, that's what y'all got to do with her. Those of you that mess with the men's. And then Kim Foster got to be like, us. Well, she didn't say us straight, something like that. We're losing. Look at us. It's bad out here. We're down bad. Imagine that. Being heterosexual and then having to speak as if it's a bad thing or you're compromised. You see what I'm saying, Trell? And Trell says, please forgive me, dog. I've been loving vagina. You see what I'm saying? Jeez. Black Roo, I ain't even gonna read it out loud. But it's true. But it's true. Right? Y'all getting way too ambiguous with the language over there. way too open with the language. The same people that believe that words have meaning are bastardizing words. Huh. And making the words mean so little. Right? Jeez. But yeah, so, you know, shout out to BGS for bringing a FD up. FD, be careful. It will change you. Right? This space will change you. But more importantly, this space exists because your side of the ideological spectrum had a head start for decades, for a few decades. And black men are counting and they don't really see how they benefited. All they see is that you gave the women the ability and you propped them up to be a-holes to the men. The same men that they used the death of and the oppression of to get whatever baubles from white folks. I'm looking at you, BLM. Right? And me too, Black Rule. Black Rule said, I kind of wish BGS had a one-on-one with FD. Me too. Me too. Right? And Big Kev says, just did 16 reps of 225 on a bench press. Look, y'all got Big Kev, nice young man, trying to get him a Latina MILF. He's trying to look sexy on him. Right? He need a paymaster now instead of being out here with one of you crazies, his same age. right? And you know what? Actually, now that I went into that as a joke, let's get there. If we're supposed to be in this egalitarian system, yeah, you better be ready. You better be ready for young men to be running women's pockets. Oh yeah, yeah, run me my PS5. That's the world y'all want to live in. Fine. Get ready for older women to think they hit a lick with some young naive dude, and then he divorce her and then take half. I mean, it's kind of already happening though, on the fringes, right? And why not? That's an egalitarian, right? Did y'all mean it? Right? Black Uru got jokes. And Black Uru said, Big Kev, all that extra power is really going to come in handy in hand tonight when handling Big Shirley. Right? Not Big Shirley. I mean, hey, the average weight for black women in America is what? Yikes. Right? So there's a reason for that. Look, what's homegirl? Super thick. She was on that funny cop show. And now she's married to a woman too. What is her name? Y'all know who I'm talking about. She's right there. She got lips for days. What is her name? Me and one of my coworkers were just talking about her. And she's on that show. I think it's called Claws, or at least she was on it. I don't know if she's still on it. Nash, yes, yeah. Niecy Nash. Thank you, everybody. Yeah. Now she married to a woman. Right? Yeah, Reno 911. Yes, thank you. And this is not, once again, I'm not about shaming these people or anything like that. But can we be honest? Can we have like a really honest, if y'all want to have honest conversations about men, can we have honest conversations about women? And what age does, right? And what being insufferable does? And the position that women with money and status put themselves in, right? Because they're not gonna what air quotes settle. You're a whole millionaire, lady. If you don't catch you another celebrity, rich millionaire dude, what do you think you're doing financially? That's always fascinating to me. As a person who claims they want to live in a free, open, egalitarian society, right? Where women don't have to marry for security and marry for money. And women could earn their own, fine, they could earn their own. Let's say it's a black woman, Niecy Nash, they worth $5-10 million, something like that, right? Cool. Who are you gonna marry? If you plan on getting married. Who? Right? You're gonna take care of somebody's son. So you choose one. You either marry the white dude or he really gonna run your pockets. Right? A Latino dude or a black dude. Somebody. There's so many little like moving parts. That's why I say like societal mechanisms, right? That's why I titled that video that I made it months ago now. that there's all these little moving parts in your society that keep things going and that keep people interacting with each other, marrying each other, dating, having children, that keeps your society relatively peaceful, relatively, right? And y'all are like systemically removing those pieces, okay, but not replacing them with anything, right? Man, Leon, me and one of my coworkers talked about this chick a year ago, right? And from my understanding, she came from a two-parent household. And Leon says, just read the comment in SZA's song Kill Bill. No cap, straight toxic mental illness. I haven't heard the song yet. I'll look it up just for you guys, right? And we spoke about her. We spoke about what's the other girl that me and Ed talking about Skylar Walker, Sky Walker, whatever her face is. Because even for those of them that come from stable families, right, the underlying atmosphere is so toxic that even if you don't have a black Uru as a dad, right, you're gonna come out here and you're just gonna become one of these. Yes, Summer Walker. Thank you, Summer Walker. Summer Walker. Right. The Summer Walker, the SZA, like this is the type of. These are our R&B singers. Now, as a child of the '90s, born in the '80s, raised in the '90s, yes, they had misandrous music. Oh boy, we had misandrous music. Yes, we did. Misandric music all over the place. But it wasn't this toxic sludge. Right? It was bad. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. It was bad, but it wasn't this. Right? You had the Tony Braxtons and whatnot, the TLCs, yes. Yeah. Whitney even had a couple of, misandrous songs. Yeah. Destiny's Child, as they came up in the very late, what, 99, 2000, 2001, 2002, Destiny's Child. Everybody had their little, you know, at least 2 or 3 songs on their album that was on some misandrous. Maybe 17 songs on the album, 15 songs. At least 2 or 3 of them was on some black men ain't ish type thing. But it wasn't this. Right? And I'm gonna check out that song. I will check out that song. And Black Uru said, Big Kev, make sure you wear your lifting belt, bruh. Wouldn't want you to throw your back out tossing Shirley around. Hysterical. Right? And Leon says, no, listen to the song without listening to the song. Then go on Google and read the lyric. Then listen again to Kill Bill. Okay. Ari Lennox, somebody, we naming them, right? Like, and that's what we are. So that's okay. And what did we expect? These are the daughters of Whitney and Tony, right? These are their daughters, right? These are the daughters of those people. Oh yeah, I remember Summer Walker mentioned Kevin Samuels. I remember. And D. Scott says they mentioned Kevin Samuels. Yeah, because they see that. Think about that. We had decades of black men ain't ish media, and everybody ignores that. They start the clock at Kevin Samuels. right? Decades of black men ain't ish media, from music to TV shows to movies, magazines, books, and they start the clock at Kevin Samuels. Man, if y'all don't get out of here with this foolishness, but they want us to tone police ourselves. They want us to tone police ourselves. Right? So on that note, and Black Uber says it really started in the 80s with songs like Ain't Nothing Going On But the Rent. Right? BET Awards, they boo at Kevin Samuels. And what did, oh, look, I was trying to go. What did Kevin Samuels do? He put a microphone and a camera up and let women tell you how horrible they think of men as. There's nothing Kevin Samuels said that was worse than women coming on every single night to tell you they see men as nothing but objects. Y'all despise Kevin Samuels so much. Average at best, lose some weight, the Humpty song in the background. None of that was worse than him listening every day. You imagine the mental, man, you got to be surprised Kevin lasted as long as he actually did. You imagine, you're a grown man. Kevin was still a black man, a man. And every night you got to listen to women and girls. Kevin had 23-year-olds calling in, disrespecting him from the jump. Literally could have been his daughter. Sassing him. 23-year-olds talking to him like they better than him. Like they have more life experience than him. Like they're more knowledgeable and wiser than him. Right? And night after night, him listening into women. I'll say his sisters, listening to his sisters talk about how horrible black men are. What they're not going to settle for. Completely dismiss at best 80% of black men out hand. And y'all mad at Kevin Samuels for saying what? One woman's is average at best looking? Telling other women, hey, you know you're because of your weight, you're built like there's football players that are slimmer than you. You think what him saying that is worse than him listening in to women night after night after night speak about how much better than men they are? Y'all got so much smoke for Kevin Samuels. Why? Because he put a microphone and a camera up, and then your old egotistical ass took your ass up there to talk crazy about men, and it made you look bad, and it destroyed much of your dating options. Kevin Samuels that exposed y'all. Y'all exposed yourselves. You exposed yourselves. And then the death knell. Kevin passing and y'all dancing on his grave. Everyone from Cynthia G to Vivica A. Fox. right? Sexist, misandrous black women, night after night after night, materialistic, right? Religious zealots trying to hide behind the Bible and Jesus because they're a-holes and no man want to be around them worth a damn. So now the only man you got is white Jesus. Right? And so y'all had a problem with Kevin Samuels. This middle-aged black man who put a camera up and a microphone up and allowed women to tell you how horrible they are and how horrible they think of men, black men in particular. Before he passed, he had this heavy-set sister with a tattoo on her chest talking about what she ain't settling for. And mad at the world when she finally started to realize that what Kevin saying made sense. You could see the anger, the rage in her. What, I'm relegated to regular men at best now? I could cover this tattoo up with makeup. And Kevin couldn't even tell her straight up, lady, you don't got the look for what you're going for. Straight up. Before we even get to the tattoo on the chest, you don't have the look. And you're too old. So even if you didn't have the look, but you were young, maybe you could have got lucky, but you're too old, you got kids, and you don't got the look. And you got a tattoo on your chest. The look on her, you slowly start, as she started to get the realization, you know when a person is throwing an adult temper tantrum? You know that, oh, if I can't have what I want, then screw everybody. Yeah, she started getting into that. And y'all wonder why Kevin, I'm surprised the brother lasted as long as he did, especially, realizing that he was a cancer survivor. Every single day you got to deal with women like that. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 women, 10 women every night that talk like this about men like you. And these are not even white folks talking about men like you this way. These are black women. Air quotes, your sisters. And then you got people like FD telling you to tone police yourself. And that's why I keep on stressing to everyone, this isn't even just women that lack education. No, PhDs calling into Kevin talking crazy like this. Master's degrees, bachelor's degrees, white collar, blue collar, East Coast, West Coast. And let me make sure I say this. What message do you think it sent your sons? You think that scared your sons? What message you think it sent your sons watching their mothers dance on Kevin Samuels' grave? Shout out to the women on the breakdown. Twerk on Kevin Samuels' grave. What message you think that told your sons, yeah, you better don't sound like Kevin? You think that's what they got from that? No, them boys are gonna move in silence. Don't say nothing when that interracial marriage rate go through the damn roof with these Gen Z. Don't say anything. Don't say anything because they're not gonna be like us millennials. They're not gonna be loud like us Xers and millennials. They're gonna grab their passports quietly and get the hell up out of here. You know what's gonna be worse than millennials and Generation X? The Gen Z that don't even make a fuss. The level of indifference that I'm predicting is going to come from Gen Z, men in general in the West, but particularly black men. Black women and girls aren't ready for. You already hear your black daughters in their late teens screeching now that the boys are ignoring them. You hear them saying that now. They're making TikTok videos about it now. And these are not ugly little black girls. These are cute little black girls telling you the black boys in their school don't even make fun of them. They ignore them. So they're not going to be like millennials and Xers and Generation X. We still talk. We still give a damn enough to make fun of. Gen Z gonna move in silence, and the ones that are married, you're gonna see them married to a whole lot of Latinas, a couple of Asians, and some white women. That's SYSBM. And the passport bros are gonna go get their wife, maybe bring her back quiet, or go and do some online work, work from home work in Thailand, in Brazil, in the Philippines, in whatever African country. Right? And Detroit says, even pro-black celebrated Kevin Samuels' death, including Michi X, Vicky Dillard, and Boyce Watkins. Of course. Of course they did. Because Kevin Samuels didn't sell men on, you know it's real manly, being the freaking doormat for women. You know what's real manly? Lecturing other black men about how horrible they are at this man thing, at this masculinity thing. You know that's real manly, right? Because Kevin wasn't doing that, of course they danced on his grave. Because Kevin didn't believe in all this alpha your way through for the women. Now, did he get on brothers? Of course he did. But the alpha your way through for the women? Oh, yeah, no. And how dare. Look, man, I'm not even going to go in on Boyce Watkins. But, nigga, ain't nobody trying to be you. Ain't nobody trying to chase after no woman for no decades. And then she finally settled for you when she ain't got no goddamn choices left. Nobody's trying to be the consolation prize, Otis. Give relationship advice when you got picked just because somebody don't have other better options. Ain't nobody trying to be no consolation prize. People watching videos and your wife is drooling over rappers that haven't rapped in how damn long? Or let me say it better. Haven't had a really hot song in how long? Come on, man. I'm not getting no advice from someone who's a consolation prize. Oh, get out of it. Man, look, y'all are so mad. Where were y'all before Kevin? Oops. All the people hating. Where were you before Kevin? See, I could understand brothers in the black manosphere that feel like Kevin took certain talking points and blah 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 because they were here. Where were the rest of you? All of you that poo-poo the black manosphere, all of you that poo-poo Kevin, where were you before Kevin? Where were you before the money started flowing through the black manosphere? Let's be honest, that's the only reason most of you even cover content having to do with black male, black female relations. Because before that, y'all were lecturing down to black men. Y'all took what the women said at face value. At the barbershop, you told the truth. But when you put this camera on, you wagged your finger at black men. Right? You wagged your finger at black men to get down with black women's program. And then Kevin comes along and y'all are so incensed. Why? Because your daughters look like retards. Y'all are just mad that your daughters exposed themselves on Kevin Samuel's show. Let's call a thing a thing. And he let them do it. You're mad that your divester daughters exposed themselves on Kevin Samuel's show. You're mad that your materialistic, consumeristic daughters exposed themselves on Kevin Samuel's show. You're mad that your 45-year-old daughter who never been married and never had no kids exposed herself on Kevin Samuel's show. You're mad that your witty little a-hole daughter that's 23 years old, snarky a-hole daughter that's 23 years old exposed herself on Kevin Samuel's show. You mad that your grandmas that's 65 exposed themselves on Kevin Samuel's show. You're mad that your overweight daughters exposed themselves on Kevin Samuel's show. Shit, you're white that you're even non-black daughters. Your little, your Canada Dry daughters that look like they got a couple of screws loose up there exposed themselves on Kevin Samuel's show. You're mad that your daughters with 3 different children from 3 different dudes and then telling you what they not gonna settle for exposed themselves on Kevin Samuel's show. Your white daughters that you set up nice, cool, that's great. Grew up with a stable dad, help her get her house. She got her own business and she's in her mid-late 30s looking for a man, white, black, or otherwise. You're mad that she exposed herself on Kevin Samuel's show? You're mad that women exposed themselves, particularly black women, exposed themselves on Kevin Samuel's show. Occasionally, a couple of them would weep because they realized they messed up. They have a child or two from a brother that passed away in some gun violence, and they're overwhelmed and they don't know what to do with themselves. And all the rest of you, all over black YouTube, all over black social media, don't got no answers for her. And that happened on Kevin Samuel's show a couple of times. Let's be honest, a sister that at best, let's say she made some mistakes. Now she don't know what to do with herself. And she didn't call you Chrissy. She didn't call you Yanni. She didn't call you Paris. She went on Kevin's show. Why did she go on Kevin's show? Y'all was all of y'all screaming. All of them said it. Why y'all keep on going on Kevin? All of you said it. All of you pro-blacks, all of you divester, all of you divester adjacent, you Kim Fosters, all of you said it. Why they keep on going on Kevin's show? Why they keep going on Kevin's show? Because y'all don't got no. They've been listening to y'all since y'all started YouTube. Y'all don't got no answers. All y'all did was blow smoke up their rear end. You divestors told them to go get white dudes. They know the white dudes ain't checking. They work with them. They didn't give the vagina to the white dudes before. Yikes. You pro-blacks are going to blow smoke up their rear end and tell them it's not them, it's the men. Right? And all of you, why they keep going on Kevin Samuels' show? Why they going on Kevin Samuels' show? Why they listening to Kevin Samuels? Why they you know what? It's internalized misogyny. That's what it is. It's internalized patriarchal thoughts. That's what it is. They're going on. Why are they going on Kevin Samuels' show? And for between Boyce and who the people that he bought in, like Cynthia G, like Paris Milan, because okay, fine. Don't have these men's children, go swirl, abort black male sons. All of that sound nice, and they know it feel good. It feel good to get at black men. Yeah, we're gonna say the most insane, most rageful things we could possibly say. But then those women gotta sleep in that lonely ass bed at night by themselves. Those women gotta sleep in those lonely ass beds by themselves. They're at their parents' home in their mid-30s with no plans, college educated or not, children or not, still sleeping in the same bedroom they've been sleeping in for 20 some odd 30 years. They've been sleeping in that same bedroom. Right? And Stuart D said men desiring pussy more than principles is the issue. You tell me when that wasn't a thing. I'll wait. Men been chasing after principles throughout human history? Since when? You outside of elite men throughout history that we know their names, you tell me when that was a thing. Men chasing after pussy over principles. Okay. Name me the group of men on planet Earth that weren't that. Not the elites, not the names we know. And even then they were chasing after vagina. And PK, I know, right? I gotta go for real. And PK said, "Get some sleep, Mr. C. I want to see you at the cookout tonight at Arts Panel, bro. You can't not show up. That's illegal, man. I haven't been on art I haven't been on Art Immore's panel in like a few weeks, like maybe even a month or two, right? But this is important. Look, I disagree with Kevin politically. There are certain things that if me and Kevin had a conversation, you would see we disagreed on certain political things. Yeah, let's be very clear. But the celebrating his death, the urinating on his death, the twerking on his grave, the urinating on his grave, the now you going after, and let's call a thing a thing. Let me say this about talking about a particular person. Certain people are such megalomaniacs. They think we don't see what they see. They think we don't see what they're doing. They're systematically going after everybody that Kevin was tight with. They think they're Francis from House of Cards, right? Oh, you ain't give me this Secretary of State seat I wanted? Okay, watch this. 2 years later, now I'm president. Right? So, let's be very clear. I get it. Um, but as I said, if Kevin was the one to blow up, he was the one to blow up. If he was the face, fine. And let's be clear, another reason why he was the face is because half of your daughters found him attractive. That's why they went on there. It was multiple reasons. It was the high value man moniker, so they're going for the rich dudes and the baller dudes, fine. And he's waving, the baller dudes in their face. So they going over there to advertise. Then secondly, they found Kevin attractive. They like the way he dressed. They like the little salt and pepper thing. They found Kevin attractive. That's another reason. Let's be honest. Why your daughter's over there? Why your grandma's over there? They try to advertise themselves, number one. Number two, some of them are trying to get Kevin told. And number three, they find Kevin attractive. And so for those of us that don't show our face, or we do show our face, but maybe so many women don't necessarily maybe find us that attractive, or we don't have that type of dress or that type of ambiance, or we don't give off that we know about this high sedity, high life, you know, fragrance and cars and lifestyle, we may not get that many views. And Kevin used that to then show these are what these women are looking for. And now it's difficult for the Richard Reeves to continue to, and he's still saying it, but preference versus revealed preference. And you couple that with the lady that spoke to Obsidian a couple months ago, that straight up said, that was a black woman that straight up said to y'all, women put men in the temporary category. The temporary, we have a dream man, and she was using the lead attorney as the dream man. And if we can't get him, we will be with another man, and he will be that's why we treat him the way we do. So this entire Black Manosphere and the Black Manosphere adjacent type conversation, it's letting your son see and know what women really think about them. Unlike some of us millennials, some Xers, many boomers, who were raised that women were sugar and spice and everything nice by their mothers, by their aunts, by their grandmothers, and they come out here in the dating world in their teens, in their 20s, and get their head top taken off. Then you wonder why your sons sound the way they do. All Kevin did was expedite the process. So on that note, taking PK's advice, right? And y'all like, share, subscribe. Let me end it out for real so I could have some sleep, right? And Stuart D. Knight, author, says that's been a fact about women throughout history. I don't know what point I made that you said that too, but let's end out with this. True, but now we live in a capitalist neoliberal society, and they've weaponized that. They put money behind it, right? We have a society that has commodified women's effery, is what I'm saying. And it's going to be spaces like this that tell them, hey, there ain't no more money in that, right? Okay, you're saying women choosing certain types of men. Yeah, yes, we have. We have lived in that society. I just wish that, and I'm not saying you, I don't know if you would subscribe to this, but the people that do subscribe to this, I just wish they would actually just come out and say it, that they believe in eugenics, right? And they believe in polygamy, and they believe that the uber wealthy dude should have 50 wives and the rest of everybody else should be starving and killing each other on the streets, right? I just wish they would say it because everybody's kind of walking around it. Everybody's implying and suggesting this thing without just outright saying it. Just say it. Y'all believe in polygamy. The baller rich dude should have 20, 30, 50, 100 wives. And everybody else just get it how you live in. And maybe we'll let prostitution be legal so y'all can get off that way. But maybe we won't even have to do that because technology is catching up enough that maybe in the next 10 or so years, we'll have you with like the really dope jack off machine or sex robot and y'all can get off that way. And we'll have all the real women and we'll have like 50, 60 wives or something like that. Just say it. I just wish the brothers would say it. Right? Because there's content creators, they keep on walking around it, right? They keep walking around capitalistic Darwinism, right? And I just wish they would actually say it. Us baller dudes, those of us that are millionaires and billionaires, we should get all the women, and the rest of you just get it how you live. Right? And to Mr. Stewart, he says, and if you're a man, you shouldn't expect a woman to say it. And why they don't. I didn't say for the women to say it, I said the men. And I'm particularly thinking of a certain content creator. Just come out and say it. And he said, men should know that. Men should know nothing. Let's stop that. Like I said earlier, I don't know if you were here. We done rejiggered the whole entire society for the women, but we just went and want men and boys to know. Just get it how you live, and we don't have to tell you. We don't have to tell you anything. So let me get this right. We send our children to school to learn so they could be educated. All of this is about growing someone into a productive citizen, into a productive person, but yet there's certain things they're just supposed to just know without no one telling them that, without us socializing them. As a matter of fact, most of our society is trying to socialize them not to think that way until they get sideswiped by life. And Leon, you see what I'm saying? Like, this is what I'm saying, exactly what I'm saying. And he said the middle class men will have transformers, let's just say that. The wealthy will have real women, and working class will have sex dolls. Crazy, right? All right, so we got a disciple of Mr. JB out here, and he says men should solve issues and questions. It takes self-education to do that. No excuses. Okay, now, well, at least you said it, right? You see what I'm saying, Black Guru? And Black Guru said, and let's consider the final trajectory of Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos on all the hoes, and even Drake would be effing sex androids. You see? And one of my and this is why I'm on the left. One of my biggest gripes with some of this rhetoric is that you never actually address the corrupt system, or the system that doesn't actually work for people. Y'all swear by the theories, but not by the practice, right? That's why I'm getting on the left, but I get on the political right also. How does this theory actually interact with people? Not the theory in a vacuum, number one. Number two, you just tell people to get it how they live in the system that might be corrupt, that might be going off course, that might be producing horrible outcomes for the vast majority of people. Right? And yes, we are, what are we going to call it? Post monogamous relationships now. I guess that's what we're going to call this era, post monogamous relationships. It's not necessarily state sanctioned polygamous relationships, but we're not exactly in monogamy land, are we? The well off or the okay in life have the monogamous relationships, and they're married, not just monogamous relationship. They're the ones that are married with the 2.3 kids in the home, and everybody else just get it how you live. Did you see what I'm saying, Black Uru? And Black Uru said, in essence, just willingly be a part of making things worse. Yeah. And people are gonna start respecting the resentment of the losers. Yeah, that person ain't win, but they could still torture society. And what happens when that person is millions of people? Wait a minute, Mr. Z. Sounds like the men you're speaking about. Yeah. And they're torching the society by being indifferent. They're not even literally torching the society. They're just torching the society by being indifferent. Y'all gotta respect the losers in society. And when I say losers, I don't mean it as literal as these people are losers, but they're not part of the air quotes winning team. They're not millionaires and billionaires, and they don't have the world exactly how they want it. Right? And Francis Fukuyama has a book about this, right? Liberalism and its discontents. And Prakash Mashras has another book about it called The Age of Anger, something like that, The Age of Anger. Right? And let me follow PK's advice for real. Let me go to sleep. Let me go to sleep. All right. On that note, let's end it out because I keep on saying that. So y'all like, share, subscribe. Go check out other manosphere content, other Black manosphere content, excuse me, other Black manosphere content, and other non-manosphere content. So we don't sound like these people that don't know what the hell they're talking about. Or just the ignorance, or just the kind of short-sightedness. Yeah, so we can know how to do social math. right? And I think that's it. I think that's important, right? I think that's important. So yeah, and I'll end it right here, right? So y'all have a great rest of y'all day. And I should be coming to y'all tomorrow with, my usual weekly wrap up and group chat, and and we'll talk about pretty much all the happenings of this week, the goings on of this week. I was hoping FD popped up, but anyway. Um, and y'all have a great rest of y'all day. All right, everyone. Mr. Z out. God damn it, Black Uru strike. Okay, let me and let's let Black Uru have the last comment. And Black Uru says, my only question, or it's a question, my only question about this post-monogamy world is, will the state still allow women to steal children and money from men? My answer would probably be yes, Black Uru, until they can't do it anymore. And I think we're reaching the market cap of that now, right? I think we're reaching the market. I think that's why Richard Reeves and Scott Galloway and Raj Chetty are in these spaces, or not in these spaces, but kind of speaking about men's issues, because I think the answer was yes up until about like 2 seconds ago, right? And I'll end it right there for real. All right, y'all. Have a great rest of y'all day, and Mr. Z out.